try this one again, just in case. Overload, is it? So this one definitely worked this morning on my computer. Yeah. Right. Making a ping sound. What's making that noise? Oh, I see. Yeah. Sorry, yeah. I'm going in the wrong direction. That's the next one. Okay. Yes, that works. Yes. That means next slide. I was going sort of forward. Actually, that's next slide. The previous slide. Laser point.
As a keyword.
All right. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We're going on with the last session now, which is market acceptance. So we have got a speaker, Grégoire de Rutte from Colruyt. And the question is, are consumers ready for Glopack packaging? So, Grégoire, over to you.
Hello, everybody. So I will try to answer this discussion. So, it's awesome. First I'm project manager by Colruyt in the Department of Research Development and Innovation. And I make sorry.
This arrow.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And if that's not working, you might just have to say next.
Yeah.
Should we do that? Okay, sorry, Grégoire. Otherwise, you just say next.
It's mentioned. It's too late for everybody. So.
Wow.
Yeah, I print a copy of for everybody.
Not working?
You can just say next then.
Yeah.
Just say next. Sorry.
So next. Come here. It's good, it was stress, but as I got, it's better. Okay, okay. So just an overview of the presentation. So I will explain to you who is Colruyt Group, the partner of the task that we made to get the results that I will explain to you. The work of Colruyt Group in this project, and the goal of the task, and the different plans that we have made to get this result, and then the concept and the result of the survey of the market replication test, and then our conclusions and the lessons learned. So who is Colruyt? Colruyt has started 18 years ago as a family bakery. Just a small bakery who grew and make a bigger shop and then other shops, and is now in Belgium at Halle, and now it's a family of companies with all the so Colruyt Group is a group of production companies. We have our production companies as meat, bread, wine, coffee, rice, salad, that we made ourselves in our own facilities. Other shops, though these shops are food shops mainly, but not only, we are also active in non-food activities as projects for the babies, the internet market, and other activity where we are not linked, for example, renewable energy, produce renewable energy, or printing facilities. So it's a group, and the common point of this group is that we have common sense, common value, and what I will try to explain, but it is driven by the innovation and the pioneer in the added value that you can give to the society. So here, a presentation of the most partners of the tasks that we made. So we need the market replication survey. So it's part of the WP4. So which is Quack for Food as leader of the work packet. And Colruyt was leader of the task 4.4. This one. We have made it not alone. It was not possible to make it alone, certainly not. But I had a chance to make it with mainly these partners. Without it was not possible to do this, and I'd like to thank them for the expertise and also for the kind experience. It was for me the first time I made it, and it was very pleasure to make it with these people. So to explain shortly, main is the advantage to the best. Many of them are already explained, but symmetries and ecoset are more for the co-developing of the survey, and also after the result of this will be used by symmetries and ecoset to make the operational marketing and the operational marketing strategy of with these data, with these informations. Also, we have made it with 3 production facilities. So, the meat of the group. So, we've seen Florence and La Viebelle, who help with the creation of the survey, and also to give samples to make it real. And then the OK was the shop where we would make this test normally for real. Could you go? So what were the main roles of a Colruyt group in the project? So in this task was the industrial test. We have shared process and production parameters, our experience, and also made some samples. At the 4.3 cooperative shelf life, we mainly provide samples for the test that are made by Quack for Food, and we also make internally a discoloration test with our labo. And then the main task of Colruyt was important for the market replication survey, and there we were the general project coordinator of this task. We are developing the virtual survey experience and co-developing the survey, so the questionnaire that the people has to transfer. With providing with samples also, and with the test shop and also our panel of questionnaires. So what was the initial goal of this task? It was to make it in a. It was the goal to make it in a real shop, that the people can go to the restaurant. It was to make samples and in the shops, and let the people come and buy it. And and then ask some questions to know, okay, as the client are ready for this project and what they mean of the project, the concept, and so. So we would normally in this task, there's the robustness of the prototype in the world logistic chain. Okay. Make market application in the real shop of us to analyze the real purchase decision of three different food products, namely the meat, fresh cheese, and falafel. And then it was also the goal to analyze at household level the assessment by the consumer panel, so what they think about it, and also to monitoring the use of the RFID tag. Also, the expected outcomes was to get information about the robustness, the strengths and weakness in the eyes of the consumer. What are their preference, the Glopack or the standard packaging, to know what is the influence of the front of packaging label that we've put on the packagings, and also to determine the real purchase intention. And as said before, to get insight for the operational marketing and commercial strategy for Symmetry and Colruyt. But as you already heard, there was not enough quantity and not enough quality of trays or cups to make this test real. So we have to think another way to do it. And the way we found the plan B was to make it in our test shop. Colruyt has also a factory shop, a shop where the people can go just for so tests. We put in the shelves projects that we will analyze, and people come, they know that it's not a real shop, just to give an idea for the presentation and so. So that was the plan B, and it was validated to go further in this project in this way. You can put it so it's easier. But okay, put it a bit easier. So in this test shop, for sure it was not at household level. So the analysis should take place at home was not possible. The analysis in the logistic chain was also not possible. But the rest stayed, except it's a test shop and the real shop. And the assessment is declarative and is not a real purchase. For the rest, it's mainly initial to the plan up. And as I said, the tech comes the COVID situation, and we faced to it, and it was not possible anymore to invite people to not to buy something, but just to come and give an idea. So we need a plan C. So I say we have adapted the protocol, and we get the idea to make it 100% online, 100% virtual. So we get another methodology. So the market replication was only on the internet, and the people to get the same, so quite so close possible the same experience. They get a 360 view of the shelves, so as they are in the shops, and also they can take the packagings and play with it in 3D to read and not the feel, but well the look of the product. You can assess it. And then we get a declarative purchase decision also, because it's not real. But the expected outcomes were absolutely the same as the plan B. So it was also accepted to make it this way. Next. So what's the concept? So the concept is that Colruyt customer panel comes or invited to come by mail and get into the online survey. So the self-administrated online survey that Symmetry has set up in the software. Then they have, said, the 360 view and the 3D product model to make it more real. And then at the end, we get with a QR code on another side so that they can get their boucher, because they are paid to make such assessment. And also on the other way, the statistics were analyzed through semesters. So, what is mainly the different part of the survey? The consumer has to select the packaging they prefer, say why, and then get question about the Glopack concept, the Glopack packaging, the Glopack score, and then we give them more explanation about it, and then ask also more questions. Know that you know this. What do you think about it? And then some questions just to can make a category of consumer to have the parameters. Okay, these kind of people with this characteristic are more interested in this product, just to get a target of customers. This is a short demonstration. The survey takes 20 minutes about, and it's a film of about 2 minutes. Sorry, about 2 minutes, just to show you what looks this survey for. Could you hit the play button? Click. Yeah. There is some normally. The sound is not important. And so you see the people come and can freely move and look into the shop. These 360 were internally made with our team, and the 3D we have taken external third party to make it. So the video spoke about the two, showed the three products. Computer. It's on lowest end. So as the people answer to the question, they didn't have it in the end, but the experience is quite the same without the field. And then the same for the so we put it in our OK shop. It was very nice to do with our team and my colleague Jonas. That the team knows. And with online. Thank you, Jonas. Don't speak, please. I know it's late.
But you put all the products by yourself in
Yes.
the shop?
Yes. So we made samples. We get samples from Florida, but we
But
get
not the other product.
the other
In
product.
the
It was
cheese, in the cheese.
we have modulated the shop so that the visual is what we want. We put everything on cars outside, and then we make it as it, because it was at the end of the day of the shop, and at the end of the day, it's sometimes work to get it.
Sorry for interrupting there. So at the end of the video there, we had people selecting things on a menu, and I don't think we saw what that was. We could see that they were visually selecting the beef, the falafel, so, and then there were lots of menus and things. Can you just talk us through what they were selecting? Something happened very quickly at the end there. People were selecting. Just briefly, you could mention what that was.
So the people look looks at the product, and then they have to answer. So what do you think about it? Which do you prefer? So they have to choose which bag, which bag you prefer. Okay, that's something else. So that is an example of kind of question that we ask to know which customer is now answering the questionnaire. So as their employee or not, the age, is male or female. Right. So questions. And then question of the price, what could be the real price of now? And we ask, okay, how much are you able to pay? Right. Will you pay? Yes. For such a packaging, know that you know which kind of packaging it is.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now the results of this survey. So you can put it. So with these last information, we get the characteristics of our panels. So we want minimum 200 person, we get 234. So the between male and female it has to be in balance, and so it was also reached. So that is to get an idea of our panel. Next. So that is some kind of information that we get, not directly that are interesting for as such, but it's to can understand, compare, and understand the behavior of the answers of the people. So here, for example, we learned that about 30% of the people never buy organic product. Not as such relevant for Glopack, but for the analysis. Yeah. Also here, with this information that women and youth people they eat less meat. So in the age, as we don't, if we just look at the age, it's the other parameters must also be compared. Okay. Yeah. So just the result now for products, so for the meat, the falafel, and the fresh cheese. Okay, so the respondent, as you have seen, can look more closely and see the difference. You can click to see the difference. So there are many 3 differences. So please. Voilà, the biocircular, 100% biocircular pack was put to so that the client pay attention, the customer pay attention more at this packaging. The color of the trays, it was not transparent because it's not possible, but it was a beige tray. Just to explain, because we didn't get packaging, we have made by our supplier packaging for the meat and for the falafel also with the same color, right? And to get processed. But there are standard packaging in the material. But for the cheese at the end, this is a real one. And for the Glopack score that the people can also look at. So we asked the people which elements are important as you buy such a product, and what comes the more important is the shelf life. So with the meat, it's sensitive, and the packaging has to be transparent so they can see through the product. What for the Glopack packaging, you can look from this side. It's just from the food. Yeah, and that's here you see the environment as it is environmentally friendly. Just at the third position. As we ask, for example, the preference between the Glopack and the standard product. If we look at it with the parameter of frequency of purchase of this kind of product, we know that who older the people are, who more who more they eat such a product, who less they are interested in a more eco-friendly packaging. But for every type of client, the Glopack packaging is preferred as the standard packaging. That is a good news. If you look at the parameters of the environmental sensibility of the client, you see that or more the the customer is sensitive to the environmental environment, the more they are interested in such a packaging version. So as we get information, so which one do you prefer? That we ask why. And here the reason why the mainly reason why they choose for the Glopack packaging was because it was more environmentally friendly. So that is okay. It is not high, but and as second, you see because it's a recyclable packaging, but it's not, but it's the perception of the client. I will take that on it later. For the people who choose for the other, it's mainly because it is transparent. They can see through the packaging. It's important for them. The same for the falafel, the same packaging, so the same change, the same differences. So which elements are important? So as you know, for the falafel from La Biebel, as already explained, so it's the organic product, it's without additive, it's high-end products who make that the people are more maybe more sensitive, but you know, you see what is the most important here. It's not very clear. It's not a big difference, but as you see the three packaging related answer, it's because it's eco-friendly, less plastic, and it has to be also a packaging with a view of the product. So in general, without that is what the most important is. So ingredients, that's not the packaging. Otherwise, it's eco-friendly, and it's not really an element who are more important than the other one. But if you look, so for the falafel, as they prefer the Glopack or the standard packaging, as I explained by now, it is clearly the Glopack packaging who is more asked by the customer of falafels, and just don't know why, but there is a gap at the people between 15 and 64 who are less than the interested, but it stayed on top in the comparison with standard packaging. Okay. If you look at it with the environmental sensibility of the customer, it's clear that the more they are sensitive to the environment, the difference is very significant. The more they are interested in such a packaging. So, as we have the reason why they choose the Glopack or the other packaging, the impact on the environment is from far the most important why they choose this one. The transparency of the packaging was, as for the meat, the main reason why they choose the other. Now for the French cheese, so there it was a real cup that we get from Soledad. And the three difference, you see the Glopack score, the same as the two other. The 100% biocircular is also the same as the two other products. But here we don't have a lid, but we don't have a cover on the Glopack cup. And we will see later that it gives a big impact. Because as you ask to the people what is important as you buy such a product, the first element is it has to be reclosed. And as they see the aluminum foil, they think that's not reclosable. So that's the main reason why they choose or not such a product. And then shelf life is important. So as we have the preference of the Glopack or the other, here for the cheese, the standard packaging was preferred. It was not the Glopack, it was the standard. But it's more true for, it's less true for the 2020, for the youngest people. They are more interesting than the other, but it's not convenient, So I'm not convinced by such packaging. If we look in regard of the eco-sensibility, it's the same, but not enough. So it stays with 30% and the priority for the standard code. So as you see, for the reason why we prefer the Glopack packaging, okay, it's because it's more environmentally friendly. Why do I put so many times in my presentation? And the rest is very, very low. And for the other one, as you see, 49%, very, very a lot of because of the lid. So then, as we spoke about the Glopack score that was explained. So afterward, we give to the respondents the information about the Glopack score so that they are informed about what it is. So I will explain everything. And then we see that there is a difference then for more than 3/4 of the respondents if they have the Glopack score could have an impact on their buying decision. Could, because we also know that the half of the respondents didn't notice the yellow and green spot on the packaging. So it's a big given, but very important for us as a listening student that you can put a sticker, you can put another one to say, look at the other, but the other didn't notice it. But they are expressed there just to analyze and look at the product. So imagine as they are in the shop and they have another hour to make the shop for the family, it's not a bigger issue. And for the falafel, the difference is also bigger. So for the we speak about the price. So we see that the people who are more sensitive to environment is are ready to pay 25 cents about for this package. But we have learned that the price is not such a difference. Next. And we also ask more in general for these three parameters if they find it attractive, innovative, unique, or eco-friendly. And in general, the answer was positive for 70% for the four parameters. So what's a good news is that that's value. So conclusion of the market replication. The first and most important is that there is no rejection of the innovation. What is good to go further? As we look at the preference for the Glopack is for the Glopack packaging, except by the cheese for the meat. The main reason of the preference is the fact that they are more eco-friendly, the recyclability of the product, and the attractiveness of this packaging. And the main expectation of the customer visit is that they want a good view of the food product. And what's important here is that with the Glopack packaging, if you put a film who is not very transparent, not the standard that everybody knows, but the tip of film or they are not really transparent. And if there is no anti-fog layer, it's not worse. What means that the people don't see in it. It's worse than what we get during this test. It has to be appealing colors, and consumer links the beige, brown, cardboard colors to more natural. So that's positive for this product, for this packaging. And then, as expectation, they want that it's closable for the product to are consumed by a few days. And per price, as already said, okay, so the most are okay to pay extra, but not enough for the as conclusion. So the three areas, as you see, compostable, active packaging, and RFID. These come in this order. The fact that it's compostable is the most important, but we also think that it's the more easy to understand by the customer. As we go to the active packaging, they can also have an ID, maybe not really clear, but an ID. And if you see the RFID tag, okay, it's not more complicated to understand, or maybe not to understand, but to know, okay, and what's in it for me? What should I pay for it? Because, and it may be therefore. About the Glopack score, 3/4 of the respondents find it relevant, so it helps. And we have asked the interpretations and the meaning of the name we were chosen for these three pillars, and it's quite good in the main. So it's not the nature of the material we are used. It's not false, but it's already good. And the environmental impact of these materials. For the functionality score, they associate this with the preservation of the product and the easy of use. And for the after score, it's strongly to the recyclability, and then only come the compostability in the second condition. But yes, as you see, 42%, 50%, there is education needed to can explain and let it know by the consumers. Then the respondent preferred the number scale to the letter. It was a question, with the eco score, the Nutri score with letters. But it seems that for such a score with the three pillars, that it's more clear for the respondents to keep it as such with numbers. And it seems to have an important impact on their purchase if they not passive. Okay, so now the general conclusion, and I'll try to answer the question.
Summarize that very quickly, if you don't mind. So the answer to the question, are consumers ready for Glopack packaging? The answer is
the packaging ready for the customer? That's the question. Yes, but so yeah, mainly yes, but the parameters that the customer gives let us know that okay, the TRL has to be higher to have bigger production, and with a lower price. So this is very interesting that the customer are open for this packaging, but the packaging is not really ready for the expectations of the customer.
So I think we're going to have to draw it to a conclusion very soon, because we need to liberate this room actually in a few minutes. So if you could just, if this is the last slide, then that's perfect.
We still have 10 minutes.
Still have 10 minutes, okay. All right, okay.
Too late? Too late? No, it's just two points for the lessons learned. But maybe not so.
Yeah, we want to learn some lessons.
As you want to make a market replication survey test, it's important that the only parameters who changes are the parameters you want to analyze. If your other parameters are very important for the customer, it's fair to choose the answer that it gives. And that's a big lesson learned. And also, as you have to make a market application, as the people has to get the product in the packaging in the hand, take care that you can get it, that you can make it. Right. Well, that's all. Thank you for.
Thank you very much, Grégoire. Yes, that's very.